العالمين. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Before I begin, I'd like to ask how many people from this gathering are planning to go for Hajj this year, so that once I know this, I can directly talk accordingly. Okay, there's a good number of people coming in. Okay. So then, at the beginning, I will mention certain things that will help for preparation for Hajj. And then, inshallah, we'll go into the method of performing the Hajj. Maybe easier for people like me with not too good of a memory to make notes of these things, because later on you may not remember everything. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you with great memory, then you don't have to worry about it. First thing I'd like to mention a few things that experience proves are very needed before you leave as part of your preparations to make the journey very simple and easy and fruitful. And worry-free mainly is so that we don't have too many worries as we are out there. One is, it's very helpful to make a copy of your passport, of your traveler's check, and the bank draft that would be in your passport that they would take from you at the Jeddah airport. It's always wise to keep copies of this, and if you scan it and keep it in your email, that will be even more helpful. Because sometimes people over there, they can't find the passport, they can't find the check. They want to prove who they are, they want to prove I have it, but there is no way of proving it. So at least you would have some access to internet, to your email, you would be able to print a copy of it and prove that, I had this in my passport, this is my passport number. God forbid if you can't find the passport at all, go to the embassy, this is the passport copy, and this is the passport number and everything. So at least you have those things handy. Number 2, if you have old picture in your passport, get a picture of a recent picture and staple it at the end of your passport with your passport number on it. Because with so many passports that your group leader would have, we won't have our passports on us. It will all be taken from us, and then your group leader will have to sort them out. And of course, generally they go through the pictures. They don't have time to read all the names. So he's trying to recognize you through your picture, and he sees one of your old pictures, maybe without beard, maybe when you're young, and he does not recognize you with that picture, therefore he puts it aside. No, this is not my group person. This is not someone from my group. And then you have a problem. So it's wise to keep your recent picture at the end of it with your passport number, so at least they know by matching the passport number, if he sees that picture at the end of your passport, he may think this is someone else. But when he sees the passport number with behind it, he matches it with the same passport, yet this is yours. Number 3. As part of our preparations, make sure that you take just enough that you use. Most of the time we carry so much baggage with us, things that we never use. And then the whole worry throughout the journey is taking care of it. And especially for my sisters, don't take no jewelry with you. I'm sure you have intention to buy some from there, so just bring that back. But don't take anything with you here, because you don't have too much time to wear that jewelry. And continuous worry of where should I put it? Oh, I was making wudu and forgot it in Mina. Now who's going to go back to Mina? I forgot it in Arafat. Who's going to go and look for it now? So it's best not to wear those valuables, leave them home. Inshallah, you can tell people when you come back home that you still have jewelry. Your carry-on should not be too big. And this is something from experience, that because mostly we don't have direct flights from here to Jeddah. So what happens is, you would be in transit somewhere. Hajj flights are all overbooked. They're full. There is no room for baggage. If you are the last person to get into the plane, you may not find room to put your baggage up there. Now, what happens is, wherever you are in transit, here they treat you normally because there are a lot of other flights. But wherever you stop, from there you have been treated now like Hajj. And one of the things you would notice there in many cases, if that they're going to weigh your bag, the carry-on, or they're going to measure it. And if they find it too big, they won't charge you. But the problem is they will take it away and check it in. Now what happens is, they will tell you we'll get it in Jeddah, but your ihram is gone. Your food is gone. Other things you had that you thought you would need in your journey, everything is gone. Medicine is gone. So you have a problem. It's best not to make it too heavy and not to get it too big. Get a size that you know it would be acceptable. In that, you want to keep a nail clipper, you want to keep a small scissor, a bandage, in addition to a small mirror. Mirror, generally we don't need it too much, but I always recommend to keep it. It's part of the Sunnah. Prophet ﷺ, when he used to travel, he used to keep these things with him. And the other things, generally we need them too. Then, to make use of your time, make sure you keep your Quran, you keep a book of dua, you keep a subha. Because it would take you about at least 20 hours before you would make it to Makkah. And most probably longer than that. Most of the time people don't know what to do in this journey. It's a long journey. Over 20 hours. We try to sleep, we can't fall asleep. So what should I do? I don't know, just keep on walking around at wherever you're transit or at the airport here. And in the plane, just try to sleep, and if you can, then unfortunately sometime watch a movie. So you want to keep your Quran with you. That Quran, you would need it not only during the journey, you would need it in Mina, Arafah, Muzdalifah also, because you won't find copies of Quran over there. So you need your own Quran. You want to keep a book of dua. Well, it's very important that we learn to make dua and establish our connection to dua and through dua with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during the journey. Because the most important part of Hajj is dua, as we will learn inshallah. Number 3, as I said, keep tasbih with you. Why? See, in Arabic they call it mudhakkira, the one that reminds. Now you don't know what to do. You're sitting down, subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah. It's a long journey. Set a goal of what you want to do and what would you like to achieve during the journey by the time you arrive in Makkah Mukarramah. In these 20, 24 hours, maybe 30 hours journey, I want to recite 15 juz of Quran. I want to recite istighfar 10,000 times. I want to say durood 5,000 times. I want to say subhanallah, praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thank Allah 5,000 times. The number may sound big, but in reality, this, I did not mention it just an example, really it's practical. The numbers that I just mentioned, they're very practical. During this journey, by the time you start from the airport, not even from your home, from the airport, by the time you make it to Makkah, you can do all of this. And still you have extra time, if you utilize the time. Let me give you an example. Sometimes numbers sounds too big for us because we are not used to these things. How long does it take to recite istighfar 10,000 times? You will be surprised. In 1 minute, you can recite it almost 40 to 50 times. Okay, let's take the lower number, 40 times in 1 minute. That simply means in 4 hours and 10 minutes, you can recite it 10,000 times. You have over 20 hours and maybe over 30 hours. Utilize the time. Use your time. And especially, I recommend from now on, we start doing a lot of istighfar. It's a journey where we would like to go and see the sacred places. We would like to receive the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We want to go there clean. We want to clean our hearts. We want to clean our eyes. We want to clean our hands. We want to purify our ruh, our soul from all the dirt that we have accumulated for over years. We would like to come back totally pure and clean. So do a lot of istighfar study now. So when we go over there, we are not rejected, we are clean. In your carry-on, it would be wise to keep one pair of dress. Sometime you arrive there, you don't find your suitcase. You don't have to worry right away about going and buying something and think. At least you have one pair in your suitcase. Keep your medicine on you, and if it is a prescription medicine, keep the prescription with you too. In case you are questioned at the airport, what medicine is this? You can tell them this is my prescription. If you are going to Mecca first, keep your ihram. Of course, this is for brothers. Keep your ihram. Because you would need the ihram before arriving Jeddah. Make sure you keep food also. And especially some light foods, snack bars. You would need them during the journey, you would need them over there also. And it's very wise, I'm telling you, very wise to keep some snack bars because you would need them in Mina, you would need them on your way to Mina maybe, you would need them on the way to Arafah, Muzdalifah. So it's wise for sisters to keep it in their purse, for brothers to keep it in their carry-on. I normally recommend people, and then you can ask your group leader to have a sleeping bag. We are not used to wearing ihram. And when you go to sleep, your ihram opens up. So I always recommend, regardless of the heat, this is more important. So you just get into the sleeping bag and sleep. So now you don't have to really worry about anything. But make sure you don't buy one of those expensive ones that are very big. Buy a small one. Because, I'll tell you one thing. You will be carrying your sleeping bag more than you will sleep in it. So make sure something that's easy to carry because you will carry it more than you sleep. Therefore, something that's light, but at least you can get into it. So you can sleep without having any worry. Now, we will go inshallah into the method of performing this Hajj and Umrah from the time that we leave here. Some of the groups go to Medina directly, and some of them go to Mecca first. If you are going to Makkah Mukarramah, we'll take that scenario and then we will come back to the other one. You may have heard a lot about 3 different types of Hajj. And then we try to go into a lot of details of all kinds of Hajj. I don't want to confuse you with that at this time. You may go back and read more things in the books, but the whole thing right now, I just like to give you some practical things that we would like to, that we'll have to go through during this journey. And generally, people that would go from here perform Hajj Qiran. Quickly, I will explain the 3 different types of Hajj and then I will tell you what Hajj we perform. One is called Ifrad. Ifrad is Mufrad, single, which means you only perform Hajj, no Umrah. No one would like to do that. Because if you're going there, you might as well perform Umrah and Hajj both. The second choice is called Tamattu. Sorry, most of the people perform Tamattu. Did I say Quran before? No, most of the people do Tamattu. Tamattu means you go and perform Umrah. And then you take the Ihram off. And then you wear another Ihram for Hajj. So you have a gap between the 2 Ihrams. The Ihram of Umrah and the Ihram of Hajj. This will be called tamattu. And qiran is when you make the intention of Hajj and Umrah both together in the same ihram. So after you would perform the Umrah, your ihram will not come off. You will stay in the ihram until you will perform the Hajj, and then you would cut your hair and you will come out of the ihram. As I said, generally, the Hajj, we perform, groups that go from this part of the world, they perform Hajj tamattu. Which means, first thing, you perform Umrah, take your ihram off, and then perform, put your ihram on again for Hajj, and perform Hajj with a separate ihram. This is the easier of the two when you compare it between tamattu and qiran. Qiran is afdal, is the best. Prophet ﷺ did qiran. But sometimes may not be possible for us to do it. So you would perform now tamattu, which means we will put on the ihram for Umrah. Because for us, we are not used to performing, being in ihram. For those who frequently perform ihram, for those people who perform Umrah and Hajj, they're used to it, so they can observe the rules of ihram very carefully. For us, we make a lot of mistakes. So now if you think, qiran is afdal, is best, and I'm going to make the intention of qiran, and you have 5-10 days before Hajj, so you perform your Umrah, you can't take the ihram off. So you stay in the status of ihram. Between this time and the time you would perform Hajj, you have some days, you may be making a lot of mistakes during those days. So this is why, if you are not used to it, it's best for us to perform tamattu. So let's go with tamattu. And tamattu, I don't know every group situation, tamattu will be the practical thing that people would do in the situation. Number one, if you were going to Makkah and then you would go to Medina before Hajj, then you would come back. That will be the only way that you want to do it. You want to perform Umrah, go to Medina, from Medina you wear the ihram of Hajj and then come, so this will be your tamattu. You won't be able to do Qiran in the situation, except if you keep the ihram until you go to Medina and then you come back from Medina with the same ihram, that will be too difficult. Anyway, now we got ourselves ready from here, you're ready to leave. Before we leave, try your best to fulfill all the rights of people that are around you. Anyone, especially people that we don't get along with, is not people that we love. Is not those who love us. Is people that we don't get along with. Call them. I'm sorry for anything that I may have done. Please forgive me. I'm going for Hajj. Number 2, if there are any rights of people that we have to pay people, make sure we make the arrangement for it. Pay whatever we have to pay. And in a situation where we are not able to, or you think that you would do it later on, then at least make a will of it. At least it's written. Your family knows that these are huquq on you. If in case you don't make it back, they would make sure that they try to pay those rights of people on your behalf. Or rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have missed so many salawat. I didn't pay the zakat for these many years. I didn't fast these many years. This is a debt on me. In case if I die, pay the fidya of these things. I have to make up for these things. These things should be written, and our family members should know that there is something written over there. In case they have to look at it, they will know where it is. Before leaving, perform 2 rak'ah salah. In fact, prepare yourself by taking a shower. Clip your nails, cut your extra hairs, and especially longer hair. Keep it in a way that it's comfortable to you. Because now during the journey, you can't pull your hair. During ihram, you won't be able to comb your hair. You won't be able to use no lotions, so you may have difficulty. So take care of this before you leave. Those sisters who are not used to covering themselves properly, generally, of course, I'm sure they plan to do it during the journey. Therefore, I advise them, keep a scarf that will be tight and you won't have to open it and tie it every time. So that you put it on, you don't have to keep on opening it all the time, because you will be in public. And it will be difficult for you to open it every time. During Ihram, we are not allowed to clip our nails. We are not allowed to cut any hair. So this is why we should get ourselves clean before we leave. Perform 2 rak'ah salah. Make a lot of dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the journey easy and accept the journey. And now, as you are saying goodbye to your family, follow the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Make dua for them. Let them make dua for you. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to make dua for every person that would be leaving. أستودع الله دينكم وأماناتكم وخواتيم أعمالكم. أستودعكم الله الذي لا تضيع ودائعه. This dua reminds me of a hadith narrated in Hayat al-Sahaba and many other books. During the time of Umar radiallahu anhu, a person visited Umar radiallahu anhu and introduced another person with him that this is my son. He's sitting and Umar radiallahu anhu continuously looking at the person. So, finally Umar radiallahu anhu says to this person, you know, the way your son resembles you is so surprising. I have never seen father and son resembling each other this much. Such a close resemblance. He says, أَوَ تَعْجَبُ بِذَلِكَ أَمِيرَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ? Does this surprises you, Amir al-Mu'mineen? He said, sure, yes it is. He said, Amir al-Mu'mineen, if I'll tell you the story of my son, it will be even more surprising. He said, what is that? And remember, he's in front of Umar radiallahu anhu. He can't make up anything here. He said, Amir al-Mu'mineen, I was going out. And at that time when I was leaving, I made dua to Allah. My wife was pregnant. So I made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, Allahumma inni astawdi'uka ibni hada. Ya Allah, I'm putting my child this as a trust to you. Ya Allah, I'm entrusting you with this child so that when I come back, I will be able to see my child. And he leaves. When he came back, after a long time, he was told that his wife had passed away. Before the delivery. Before she would deliver the child, she passed away. So he said, I used to go to visit her grave. One day I went over there and saw smoke coming from the grave. So I decided to open the qabr. I said, let me see what's happening here. Why the smoke is coming out of the qabr? When I opened the qabr, I saw that my wife was dead and this boy was sitting on her chest. And I heard a voice saying to me that you entrusted us only with your child. If you had entrusted us with your wife too, we would have kept her also for you. This is the dua that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to recite. أستودع الله دينكم وأماناتكم وخواتيم أعمالكم أستودعكم الله. I put you in a trust with Allah. الذي لا تضيع ودائعه. That any trust kept with Him will never be lost. These du'as are extremely important. Take seconds to say the du'a. They're extremely important. So, make the masnoon du'as for seeing off, for leaving the home, for getting into the car, for the journey. All are different du'as, but they all take seconds to recite. Now, you would leave, you're on your way. As I said before, try your best to utilize the time now from here on. Now you are in ibadah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells us in the hadith, a person who leaves home for salah, he is in ibadah, he is in his salah as long as he is in this way, on his way to masjid, and he will make it back. Till he will make it back, he is in salah. Same thing, a person who leaves for Hajj, he is in that ibadah of Hajj now from the time he left until he will make it back home. Now you started your ibadah. Be very careful. Don't get into any haram, any sin, anything wrong. Now keep on doing the adhkar and tasbihat. Wherever the transit may be, it would be wise to put your ihram on over there. Here I like to explain something about ihram. Generally when we say ihram, we say ihram is those two sheets. Yes, those two sheets are known as ihram, but the real ihram is the intention. The real ihram is intention. This is why ladies don't have those two sheets, they make the intention. Now, when you are in transit, wash yourself, clean yourself, put the two sheets on you. Don't make the intention yet. Put the two sheets on you. This is the sheets of ihram. You are not in ihram. It's only that you have changed your dress. Okay? Get into the plane. Maybe another 6-hour flight. You don't want to stay in ihram throughout that time, especially in the plane. But it may be difficult for you to put on these two sheets in the plane. So this is why you change your dress. You took off the old dress, you put it in the suitcase, in your carry-on, and you are wearing the two sheets, but still you are not in ihram. No restriction of ihram will apply. You are in the plane. About 2 hours, hour and a half before you arrive Jeddah, you made the intention. Now you are in the state of ihram. Now, what is ihram? The masnoon way of putting the ihram. The sunnah way of putting the ihram is to take a shower, perform 2 rak'ah salah. After the 2 rak'ah salah, now if your head is covered, you uncover your head for men only. You uncover your head and recite, make the intention, recite labbaik Allahumma labbaik. 1 time is must, 3 times is sunnah. This is ihram. But some of these things are sunnah in ihram, and we may not be able to do them. For example, taking a shower may not be possible. So you don't have to worry about it. If you can make wudu, make wudu. If you can't even make wudu, you can't even perform 2 rak'ah nafil, that's fine. They are all sunnah. You can still make the ihram, and your ihram will be valid by just making the intention and reciting labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wal ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika laka. Now you are in ihram. So remember, how will I get in ihram? Intention and labbaik. This will put me in ihram. If I can take shower before it, that will be nice. If I can make wudu and perform 2 rak'ah nafil, is great. If I can't even do this, I can make the intention and recite labbaik, and now I'm in ihram. Now all the restrictions of ihram will apply. So now practically, how would we put the ihram? Let me explain that. You are in transit, for example. So if there is a place where there are showers, you may be able to take a shower, go ahead, do it. If not, if you make the wudu, but at this time, it may be, even if you make the wudu, you sleep in the plane before you make the intention, so that may not be helpful to you. Shower, I said, so that you clean yourself. You have your ihram with you, put atar on the ihram. Put your atar perfume on the ihram. You may be, if you want, you can put it on your body also. There is nothing wrong. Then you put the ihram. Before making the intention, make sure you have proper perfume and atar on you. You won't be able to put it after making the intention, but before intention, you can do it, and in fact, it is sunnah to do it. It is sunnah to apply some atar and some perfume on you. Now, as I said, if you can perform 2 rak'ah salah, perform the 2 rak'ah salah nafil. 2 rak'ah nafil. And if it is the time, for example, where you cannot perform nafil after asr, then of course you don't have to do it. Or if you are performing 4th prayer, and say you perform just salat al-fard with the jama'ah, you can't do nafil after that, that fard will suffice. You made the intention, you have your ihram on, you made the intention. Now you are in the state of ihram. You can't clip your knees, you can't cut your hair, you can't pull any hair of the body. You cannot, for men, you cannot wear anything that is designed to the body. Sometimes we read or we hear that anything that has stitches to it, that's not correct. Even our ihram will be stitched. Sometimes we are wearing watches, the belt is a stitch. And you have your pouch, that is stitched, has stitches on it. Don't worry about it. The condition, the rule is, you don't want to wear something that is made for the body, designed to fit the body. Like a cap, like a kurta, like qameez, like anything. So this is why 2 sheets. Now, another thing about your slippers. You would not be able to wear anything that will go above the middle bone in the foot. Therefore, now, this is a good reminder for all the brothers especially, and sisters also at the same time. I will talk to them about that specifically. Brothers, we won't be able to wear shoes during ihram that would cover the portion of the body, this top part of the body from this bone and upward. Therefore, you want to keep slippers for ihram. With that in your bag, in your suitcase, not necessarily in your carry-on, in your suitcase, take some type of shoes, slippers, whatever that may be, that is comfortable to you, that you can walk in easily. You won't be able to wear it during ihram, but you would wear it after ihram. Not in Mecca, not in Medina, especially you would need it in Mina. Because in Mina, the first day of Mina after Arafat, the first day our ihram will be off. Now you have to stay for 2 or 3 more days. And you have to walk to the Jamarat with all the crowd over there. So you want to have type of shoes that are comfortable to you. Sometimes our tents are far, and in that case you really need something good to walk with. For sisters, you can have them all the time. You don't have to worry about it, because that restriction is not for ladies, it's not for sisters during ihram. So they can wear socks, they can wear shoes, normal sneakers, whatever they want, they can wear it. Okay. Now, these are the restrictions. Atar, no perfume. General mistake that people make in the aeroplane, you get a food. With that, they give you small napkins. They are perfumed. After we eat, right away we use it. We clean ourselves, and then you find out, oh, there was a perfume on it. This is a common mistake people make. Also, the same mistake that we make it when people get into the hotels. You go over there, you're hungry. You ate some food. You went to the bathroom. You saw the soap in the bathroom. You wash your hands with it. And then you find out there is fragrance in it. It's a problem. So, I'm pointing out these things just to let you know where generally people make mistakes. So we be extra careful in those situations. Anything with fragrance, toothpaste, we are not allowed during anything, as I said, anything with fragrance. Would be wise to take some soap from here that is fragrance free. And I will tell you would find it sometimes in dollar stores. So don't go to those expensive ones. If not, you find it over there also, but it's better to have it from here if it is possible. You observe all the restrictions of ihram. Don't worry about leaning on the seat, on the bed, on your pillow during the ihram, because we heard that covering the head is not allowed for men. But there is nothing wrong in leaning against anything, especially when you're sleeping. But you can't cover your face to sleep. You have to keep the sheet away from your face, but you can lean on anything. During the ihram, when you make wudu, don't wipe your face now anymore. Because anything covering the face is not okay, is not allowed. Therefore, we shouldn't wipe our face after wudu or after washing our faces. Using the napkin, using tissue for cleaning our nose is perfectly fine. In fact, you should do it. Don't let others be disturbed. Once you arrive Jeddah, remember there are hundreds of flights arriving there, not every day, every minute. Within seconds, there are some flights. So, they may be a long wait. Be ready for that. We scare ourselves. We say, this happens, this happens. Just be ready for everything. We are the same people that always say that, Ya Allah, I'll sacrifice anything for your sake. Allah is not asking for too much. Just stay there quietly. And we don't want to sit quietly. One major problem that we find during this journey is, unfortunately, because Hajj became a business. And now we shop for the group according to the facilities they would provide. As you have paid considerable amount of money, you expect a lot of services in return. And therefore, you keep on looking at where he's missing something, and I'm going to get him for it because I paid for it. Most of the things is out of their hands in those situations. In fact, 99% of things are out of their control too. They are just like you. You could shout. You could curse. You could go and demand your money back, do anything. He won't lose anything. You lost your Hajj. So the main thing you went for is gone. Imagine now if he gives you your money back, still what did you get out of it? You don't want your money, you want your Hajj. And it's not his Hajj, it's really your Hajj. You didn't pay for his Hajj. So that if you shout at him, his Hajj is gone. You paid for your Hajj. He will go every year. But this is, for me, it's a lifetime thing. So I have to be careful that I don't want to ruin my Hajj. Don't look at now what you are getting in return for your money. Now you look at what you are supposed to do and how would you make your Hajj the best Hajj, as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam calls it, Al-Hajj al-Mabrur. The Hajj that is full of good deeds. And especially when it comes to Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, La jidala fil Hajj. No argument in Hajj. And that is the thing that you find the most common over there. I will tell you, majority of the people that go for Hajj, they will get into some argument. Majority of the people these days, and why? Because they paid a lot of money. So they want something in return. That's all. That's the whole concept behind it, my money. If the person had taken you for free, he would say, whatever happens, that's fine. He did a big favor to you. Remember, Allah is doing a great favor in you. There are so many other people that would have been in this place. Allah chose you to be in that place. It's not your money. It's not no one's ability, no one's money, no one's effort. Oh, he did this to get me a visa. I got my visa in the last minute. It's Allah that really had that place assigned for you. Now it's up to us if we value us or we don't consider that a ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So anyway, be very careful now. Whatever happens, just be ready for it. Keep yourself ready for the worst. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, as you started, you are in Jeddah. Maybe waiting period. That's fine, wait. All you're doing is you're looking forward to go to Makkah. So that you can see Baytullah. You can go and perform the tawaf and sa'i. Once we get to Makkah Mukarramah. In Makkah Mukarramah, first thing you would go to your hotel. This is something that you should keep in mind. Don't think you want to go to Haram straight away. You have your bags with you. You have your family members maybe. Your friends. At least you are in a group. You want to go and see where is your hotel. Where is your room. You keep your stuff over there. Take care of all of the other things. And then, before you leave, now make sure, it all depends on your group. Your group leader will tell you what to do at that time. But general rules, I will tell you general rules. If he tells you anything different, you follow him. Don't leave on your own. And at the same time, don't leave with a big group. If he says that's fine, you go with it. But I would suggest don't leave with a big group. 3-4 people maximum. So that you can stay together as much as possible. If there are 10 people, one is missing, you all is going to stop. Oh, where is that person now? Everyone is looking for him. So this is why it's always wise to stay in a smaller group. And then, don't take your slippers with you. That will be your continuous worry where I'm going to keep it. Except if you have a type of bag that will tie it with you on your back and you will be carrying it all the time, that's up to you. If they are so valuable. But generally our hotels are very close to the haram. You can just walk straight into the haram. And you won't have too much dirt over there, so you can easily walk through that. Before entering the haram, make a note of the number of the door of the haram. You would think, oh, I know, you look around, yeah, my hotel is over here, this is the door, just by this minaret over here, okay, I know where I am. You enter there, you go in circle now, in tawaf. In tawaf is circle. You're going in circle. After that, you look around, what's there? But that one looks the same way. Now, if instead of this place, you went to that place, and you come out of there, you still looking for your hotel, you can find it, that's it. I won't say you will never make it back, but you would remember me then. So make a note of the number of the gate, so that when you're coming out, you want to make sure you come out of the same gate, and from the gate to the hotel. And keep a card of that hotel with you, because you may try to talk to someone who doesn't understand you, so at least you can take a card out and tell them, this is where I need to go. And generally, your group leader will make those cards for you with his name, with the group name, with the hotel name, and these type of information that is required. Always save it and keep it with you. But sometimes they have pictures and people put it on, especially for sisters, I would say, that don't do it, then don't hang it on you, on your neck, because your picture, you may be wearing niqab and your picture is in front of you. So be careful with that. In the haram, don't take any valuable. Don't even take any chance with it. All you need is 10, 15 riyals for shaving your head. That's all. For sisters, they won't even need this, because as they will come back to the room, then they will cut their hair. Don't keep anything more than that. We have seen situations, and we can't blame anyone. We keep our heart clean, but unfortunately people, they come over there for that purpose. People who have money tied, women dressed properly, not just ihram like us, and they have belt inside. Their money is tied inside, and everything was cut apart, and the money was taken. Sometimes the person didn't get the right place, and because they see a bulky thing inside, so they know there is something over there, and it has to be valuable if it's inside. She's not going to put socks inside. So something is valuable. So let's try to cut it. And if a person misses the belt or misses the pouch, we'll cut something else on the body. And this happens a lot. The reason I'm mentioning this is not to scare anyone, but just to let you know, don't take any chances with that. Keep it in the hotel. They give you a safe, keep it in the safe. As soon as you enter the haram, make the dua. Generally, when you enter the masjid, we are supposed to perform 2 rak'at tahiyatul masjid. It is sunnah. Although we are generally, especially people from for some reason, our background, we are not used to performing tahiyatul masjid. We come to look for someone to talk to. So, as soon as we come into the masjid, if it is not the makruh time, we should perform tahiyatul masjid. But when you enter the haram of Makkah, there is no tahiyatul masjid over there. Because tahiyatul masjid over there is your tawaf. So, no tahiyatul masjid, but keep on walking towards the Kaaba. As you see the Kaaba, get on the side. This is the time of the acceptance of dua. Very, very special time. You want to make dua. Make a lot of dua. Make dua for dunya and akhirah. As much as you want. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says in the hadith that is the time of the acceptance of dua. But don't stand in people's way. Either you will get pushed or you will hurt people. Get aside now. Maybe you won't be able to see the Kaaba from the other side, but at least now you have seen it. It's your time of the acceptance of dua. Get on the side and make dua. One thing that you really want to watch during the journey is you don't want to hurt anyone in any way. You don't want to be that thorn in that beautiful flower of the people, in that garden of the people that is there. Allah selected people and invited them to their home. You don't want to be the thorn that will be hurting everyone. After the dua, you will be heading towards Kaaba to perform the tawaf. This is your tawaf of Umrah. I think at the time of intention, I didn't mention, you make the intention of Umrah only, not Hajj. Because we are going to be doing only Umrah. So you make the intention of Umrah only. Now, as you go to Blackstone, towards the Blackstone, for men, we have the 2 sheets. The upper sheet, put it under your right arm and on top of your left shoulder. This is called ittiba' in Sharia. You don't have to remember the name, but you need to remember that this is what I'm supposed to do. That put it under your right arm, going on top of your left shoulder. This is how you take it and throw it on the left shoulder. make the intention of this tawaf, and now facing the black stone, say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. In some of the books you would read that there is a black line over there, that would be a mark that this is the direction of the black stone, but they took it out. It's not there anymore, so don't look for it. So all you have to do is just have a good guess of how are you when you are facing and your chest is right in front of the black stone, you are at that corner, in the line of the corner, and then facing it, Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. Bismillahi Allahu Akbar once, and then you kiss your hand. And now you start walking, keeping the Kaaba towards your left hand side. You don't have to worry, everyone will be doing the same thing, so you won't make a mistake there. So you start walking, Kaaba will be on your left hand side. For men now, you walk like soldiers. This is Sunnah. For the first 3 rounds, you walk like soldiers. It's not running. That's insane. This is just movement of the hand and the feet. Without running. And you won't even be able to run during those days. So don't think, I can't do the tibar. Just little movement. That's this Sunnah. For the first 3 rounds. What to do during these rounds? Number 1, make sure don't look here and there. And especially don't turn your chest towards the Kaaba. Sometimes people like to keep on looking towards the Kaaba. That's not good. Just like in Salah, we are supposed to be facing the Kaaba. In Tawaf, our left side is supposed to be towards the Kaaba. So keep on walking that way. If you get pushed and you get turned around, that's not something that we are responsible for. We don't have to worry about that, but intentionally don't keep on turning towards the Kaaba. Now, keep on making dua. The best ibadah of tawaf is dua. Keep on making dua. After dua, if you have time, tasbihat. This is the ibadah of tawaf now. Until you get to the corner before the black stone. That is called Rukn al-Yamani. It's open a little bit. People try to kiss it. That's not sunnah to kiss it. If it is open, you are next to it, you can just touch it, and that will be with your left hand. Just while you're walking, you touch it. If you can, you don't have to worry about it. But from that corner to the black stone, you would recite, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. This is the time of this dua. And in some ahadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam also made this dua, رب قنعني بما رزقتني وباركني فيه واخلف على كل غائبة لي بخير. If you don't remember this, at least ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Sometimes people try to hold books during tawaf and read from the book. Because of the crowd, it's so difficult to hold to the book. You get pushed and you're trying to hold the book very firmly, and then you're trying to find where you stop. You don't have to worry about it. Dua is the one that comes out of your heart. It doesn't have to be in Arabic. It doesn't have to be in specific words. Your own dua from your heart. Generally what I suggest to people is, think of some important things in your life. Because you will be doing a lot of tawaf inshallah. Think of some important things of your life. Maybe first tawaf. Think of about 6 important things. 7 rounds, think about 6 important things. In the first round of the tawaf, you praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And send blessings on Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is how you start with. Then you got to Rukn al-Yamani, the corner before the black stone. In that area, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً. Now you came to the black stone again. Bismillahi Allahu Akbar Lillahi Hamd. You kiss your hand. You continue. Now you start with those 6 things. Number 1, this is the first thing I want to make dua about. So you keep on making dua. Throughout that round, keep on making dua about that. Until you get to that corner, and then again Rabbana. Second round, you're making dua about the second thing. Third round, you're making dua about the third thing. So this dua is coming out of your heart. These are the things that are of importance to you. It's not to say that you can make many du'as, multiple du'as in one round, but this is a good way of remembering your du'as and remembering the important things of your life. And every tawaf, think of other important things and keep on making du'a for those things. Once you have finished the 7 rounds of tawaf, during this tawaf, don't even try to go to the black stone. Don't even try it. The reason is not only push. That's number one. You will be pushing others, others will push you. But number two, a lot of people put a lot of atar on it. You will go and kiss it, you had a lot of atar on your lips. So you can't even do it. So this is why I stay away from that. You finish your tawaf, now it's time to perform 2 rak'ah nafil, which is called tahiyyatul tawaf. This would be performed by Maqam Ibrahim. You would know what Maqam Ibrahim is, most of us I'm sure would know that. It is sunnah to perform it by Maqam Ibrahim, is not farda wajib. Go over there. If you can't find a place, even behind Maqam Ibrahim, anywhere, you can't find no place, go anywhere and perform these 2 rak'ahs. Don't worry about doing it there. Sometimes people try to do it just at Maqam Ibrahim. So now 10, 12 people are surrounding, making a circle there, and this person is performing salah in between, and everyone is getting pushed, and people are pushing them, and people are getting disturbed in the tawaf. This is not right. After the 2 rak'ah salah, sunnah to perform Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun in the first rak'ah, Qul Huwallahu Ahad in the second rak'ah, show 2 rak'ahs. After that, make dua. If possible, do istilam of black stone. Kissing the black stone, or of course I said stay away from kissing, so from far you point, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, I'm leaving. Now you will be heading towards Safa and Marwa. If it is possible, drink some water of Zamzam. It is mustahab, and at the same time you need it too. You have done a tawaf, that took a lot of energy from you, still you need to perform the sa'i. When you go towards the mas'a, as you are heading towards the place of sa'i, recite dua, إِنَّ الصَّفَا وَالْمَرْوَةَ مِنْ شَعَائِرِ اللَّهِ فَمَنْ حَجَّ الْبَيْتَ وَاعْتَمَرَ فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِ أَنْ يَطَّوَّفَ بِهِمَا. Once you get at the place of sa'i, now try to stand in the direction of the Kaaba, facing the Kaaba. You may not be able to see. There is room you will be able to see, but in case you can't see, don't worry about it. You would be just facing that direction. And now, again, this is the time of the acceptance of dua. Make the intention of sa'i. Raise your hand. Sometime over there people do istilam. That's not sunnah. That's against the sunnah in fact. This is the time when you will be just raising your hand as you raise it in dua. And make dua. And this is the real time of dua. Make as much dua as possible. And now you will be heading towards Marwa. You started from Safa and you go towards Marwa. In between, there are 2 green marks where they have even put green lights there. You run in those 2, between the 2 green marks. This is for men only, not for women. And this running is not like the one in Tawaf. This will be real running, because Hajra radiallahu anha, she was running in this place because at that time these were 2 high mountains, Safa and Marwa. And this was a deep valley between the 2 mountains. So once she would get there, she won't be able to see her son Ismail alayhi salam. So she would run to get to the point where she would be able to see him there. So this is running. And then keep on walking normal way until you get to Marwa. Throughout this time, the same thing. Ibadah is dua. So keep on making dua. If you can't think of dua, then adhkar and tasbihat, praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, istighfar, salah, and durood on Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Once you got to Marwa, you do the same thing. You go up on the hill, facing the Kaaba, you make dua. Now, 1 round is over. You go back to Safa, 2nd round. So you started with Safa, your 7th round will end at Marwa. If you have put your slippers somewhere else over there, you will have to go all the way there to look for them. This is why I said earlier, don't even bring them with you. Your tawaf, your sa'i will start with Safa, will end at Marwa. Now, your ihram, your umrah is almost done. If it is possible to perform 2 rak'ah, to get into the haram in a place where you can perform 2 rak'ah salah, it is mustahab to perform 2 rak'ah salah after this. But you don't have to. If in case you walk out, now you're out, or you want to go out of any other door of the haram, you go out, and now we have to cut our hair. For sisters, almost 1 inch. 1 inch at the end. So, of course, all the hair is at the end over there. So if they cut 1 inch of all of it, that means they have cut the hair from the whole head. So 1 inch from the end. And for men, the requirement is at least 1 inch from the head, but it is sunnah to just shave the whole head. It is sunnah to shave. Although it is allowed to trim the hair almost 1 inch, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he performed his Hajj, there were some Sahaba who cut the hair short, thinking I will shave it later. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made dua, Allahumma arhamil muhalliqeen. Ya Allah, have your rahmah and mercy on those who have shaved their head. Sahaba Ridwanullahi al-Mujma'een, some of them said, Wal muhalliqeen, Ya Rasulullah, how about dua for those who, Wal muqassireen, how about for those who cut it short too? Again he says, Allahumma arhamil muhalliqeen. Ya Allah, have rahmah on those who have shaved their head. Again they said, Wal muqassireen, for those who cut it short, cut the hair short, Ya Rasulullah. Third time he says, Allahumma arhamil muhalliqeen. Again, there is reminding, Wal muqassireen, Ya Rasulullah. So he said, Wal muqassireen. That tells us how much this is important at that time. And normally I tell people that in our time, all we can do is maximum thing that you can offer is you offer your hair. We don't offer our head. You just offer your hair. And we can't even offer our hair, and then we come back and make all those claims and forget it. So, get the maximum rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After shaving the head, although you have the same 2 sheaves on you, but your ihram is off. Now you are not in ihram anymore. That's just a dress that you're wearing. Go back, take shower, use your soap, change your dress, do everything. You're out of the state of ihram now. If you go to Medina, come back, whatever, now on the 8th of the Hajj, it's time to go for Hajj. Now, inshallah, as we talked about Umrah, we will go into how to perform Hajj. On the 8th of the Hajj, you would go to Mina. Generally, the books, this is what the books say. But practically, people would go on the 7th. Practically, people will leave on 7th because 8th after Fajr gets very crowded. So therefore, most of the Hajj groups, they like to take people on the 7th, and there is nothing wrong with it. The sunnah is to be in Mina before the Dhuhr of the 8th of the Hajj. To make sure people are there on time, they take them on the 9th of the 7th. Anyway, because you're going for Hajj, so you want to put the ihram on. Now you make the intention of the ihram for Hajj. If this is your first Hajj, you make the intention of the Fard Hajj. If you have made Hajj before, I always recommend, this is not from something that is ordered, I always recommend that you make the intention to make the Hajj on behalf of someone. Ya Allah, I'm making Hajj on behalf of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I'm making Hajj on behalf of my father, my mother. Make it on behalf of someone because you won't lose any reward. And the reward will go to that person, and especially if it is for Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, it's all coming back to you. After, so you put your ihram the way we talked about it before for Umrah. You put the ihram on, and that is very quickly 2 sheets that you put them on, and make sure you put atar, whatever on it, and clean yourself before. Cut your nails once again, cut your extra hair. And the 2 sheets are on. You already took the shower because now you're in Makkah, so you're in your hotel, you can take shower. After putting the 2 sheets on, try, if it is possible, go to the haram and perform the 2 rak'ah salah over there. And make the intention over there. More khair and barakah. And it is sunnah. As soon as you perform the 2 rak'ah salah, you uncover your head. Because now you are going to be making the intention. Uncover your head, make the intention, recite labbaik. Now you are in the state of the ihram for Hajj. Now you will be heading towards Mina. Your greatest ibadah at this time is labbaik. Keep on reciting labbaik as much as possible. Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'een, you know where their haram started from? It started from Dhul Hulayfa when they were leaving from Medina. So the boundary of ihram comes right over there, which is called miqat. It's just outside of Medina. They started their haram over there. It took them about 10 days to get to Makkah. Throughout the time they were reciting labbaik loud. Now our greatest ibadah is labbaik. We go to Mina, we keep on reciting labbaik. That is our ibadah while we are still in Mina. In Mina now we have to stay there to perform 5 prayers. Zuhr of the 8th of the Hajj. Remember that. Zuhr, very simple really. Zuhr of the 8th of the Hajj. Asr, Maghrib, Isha. We are still in the 8th of the Hajj. Then next morning, 9th of the Hajj, we perform Salat al-Fajr. After sunrise, we leave Mina. After sunrise, we leave Mina towards Arafat, the most important ibadah, the most important part of the Hajj. We arrive in Arafat generally before the time of Zawal, before the time of Zohar gets in. And over there, if it is possible, and generally, alhamdulillah, these days Allah made everything so easy. There are bathrooms everywhere, there are showers everywhere, and there is water everywhere. You know, we are not talking about 1400 years back or 1000 years back or even 100 years back when we were children. When we were children and when we used to go for Hajj, there was no water in Mina and Muzdalifah at all. In Arafat and Muzdalifah at all. In Mina, only in certain locations. So you fill your drum of water and carry it with you. And that's the only water you will have throughout the journey. No bathrooms. Go out in the jungle. Even, as I said, even in Mina, when we were children, in Mina, we didn't have no bathrooms. 5 days, no bathrooms. Now bathrooms everywhere, including Muzdalifah, where you have to stay only, we have to stay only overnight. There are so many bathrooms over there too. Allah made things easy. According to our weakness, He's making things easy for us. And yet we go and curse our people. Generally, the conversation upon coming back, at the time of coming back, this government is this. SubhanAllah. With all the facilities that we use, without paying a single penny for it. Yes, all the money goes to other people, but the government is not taking any money from us. The check that you are paying is for the transportation that is provided. Me as a group leader may tell you that I'm giving you the transportation. And I will tell you, I'll give you air-conditioned tents in Mina, provided by the government. I will tell you, I will provide all the transportation locally. It's all provided by the government. You pay for it by the check. That check is for them. According to the government's calculation, I'll tell you this. According to the government's calculation, they charge us, the Hajjaj, for the transportation only, and they like to give the tents on their own. This is as per their calculation. And then whatever you spend, that's for yourself. They don't even apply any fees of visas or anything like this. This is a fact. You can't deny it. They enjoy their money between them and their Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala. But for us, not to appreciate all the ni'mas and blessings and then use it and then still curse the same people is not right. And especially, generally, our words go back to the people of Makkah and Medina. And we have to be extremely, extremely careful to be very respectful to those places and to the people of those places. Don't we wish to be there? Allah chose those people to be there. And we are so far away. At least, if nothing else, at least I should appreciate that you are so blessed that Allah kept you over there. One salah in the haram of Makkah equals 100,000 prayers of ours. What does that mean? A person performs salah one day, 5 prayers, equals to more than 266 years of our salah. Just 5 prayers. Over 266 years of mine and your salah were here. We have to be careful. Anyway. Now, you are in Arafat. If it is possible, take a shower. And shower doesn't mean you try to wash your body. It's just taking some water, throwing it on your body. You can't rub your hair because you don't want any hair to fall. So you don't need to really use soap and water. Just throw some water on your body. This is sunnah. If not, just make wudu. As soon as the zawal will come in, which means the time of zuhr came in. Now, one thing is what you find in the books about being in the masjid and you perform both prayers together, Zuhr and Asr together, and then you continue with your ibadah and there is a khutbah. Generally, we are in our tents. And we won't even try to go to the masjid over there because the whole Arafat, it looks alike. Because all tents, there are no buildings. And people try to go there, they get lost. They can't find their way back. They can't find their buses anymore. It's very difficult. Stay in your tent. You perform Zuhr at the time of Zuhr. However the group leader will arrange. But the ibadah, which we call it wuquf of Arafat. What is the wuquf of Arafat? It's all about dua. Really, if you look at the Hajj, it's all about dua. Wuquf Arafat is all dua, which means to stand up and make dua as much as possible. This time continues and the important time continues till ghurub. We perform Zuhr and Asr in Arafat. After sunset, after ghurub, we will be leaving Arafat to Muzdalifah without performing Salat al-Maghrib. Leaving Arafat towards Muzdalifah without performing Salat al-Maghrib. If you can't remember the sequence, don't worry about it this time. Everyone will be doing the same thing over there, and I will briefly at the end go over these 5 days, inshallah, quickly, to make it easy. Now we are heading towards Muzdalifah. Once we get to Muzdalifah, the time of Isha would already be in, because it's too crowded. There is a lot of traffic over there. We get to Muzdalifah, we settle to our place, and there we would perform Salatul Maghrib and Salatul Isha together. Combine the prayers. Recommendation: before you leave from Arafat, it's best that you use bathroom in Arafat and make wudu also over there. It's not because there is no water or no bathrooms or place for wudu in Muzdalifah, but as all people come over there, arrive over there will be big lines. So if you're ready, as soon as you come up, you may be able to perform Salat al-Maghrib and Salat al-Isha. Now you are not in a hurry to make wudu. Now you can go to the bathroom and make wudu. Keep water in small bottles. In case you fall asleep in the bus, you have enough water to make wudu as soon as you get over there, perform your salah. This is the place where, as I said earlier, for sisters in your purse and for brothers in your carry-on, you have some snake bars. This is in Muzdalifah, generally it becomes very handy. Sometimes group leaders try to provide certain things also, but don't depend on that. Have something on you handy, so in case if you need it, it's there. In Muzdalifah, you will be spending the night. So you need something to lay down on. This is where your sleeping bag will be very handy now. Will be very helpful. Here you will be spending the night. Try to have some rest. It's the night of having some rest, and then when you had your rest, get up and do the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is dua. Salat al-Fajr will be performed at the beginning time. Just ask your group leader to inform you when the time comes in. Over there, people are in a hurry to go to Mina back. So therefore, you will see people start calling adhan half an hour before the time gets in. And we copy those people, say, they're calling the adhan, okay, we have time for salah, let's pray salah and leave. Your fajr wasn't done yet. So, wait until you know that it's the time for salat al-fajr. And perform the salah at the beginning time. After that, this is the real time of wuquf of Muzdalifah. So now is the time of the wuquf of Muzdalifah after Salat al-Fajr. You perform Salat al-Fajr at the beginning time. Keep on making dua until when you see the light is breaking. Which means just before the sun would rise. Now we will leave Muzdalifah towards Mina. Before sunrise. Which day is this now? 10th. 9th was in Arafat. We left at the night after Ghurub. Came and performed Maghrib and Isha in Muzdalifah. Now the morning of the 10th of Zulhijjah. This is the day when we have the most work to do. This is why I said, have some rest in Muzdalifah. Now, you leave from Muzdalifah after Fajr, before sunrise. We left from Mina to Arafat, not to confuse, just to remind you, we left from Mina to Arafat on the 9th after sunrise. Here the difference is before sunrise, but once it's light. On your way, the sun would rise. Now you're heading towards Mina. Once you get to Mina, there are 4 things to do. This day, you have to do 4 things. Number 1, Rami of Jamarat, stoning the shaitan. This is the first day you will be stoning only the first shaitan. 7 pebbles. In Muzdalifah, I forgot. In Muzdalifah, we are supposed to collect the pebbles. Sunnah is to collect 7 from there. But practically collect all of them. If you are staying for 2 days, 49. 7 for the first day. 21 the second day. 21 the third day, and the 4th day is optional. So, if you are staying the 4th day, you can say, then you will be collecting 71. If you are staying for 3 days only, then collect 49, which means 50 and keeps you extra. Collect all of this. Sunnah is 7, but you won't find them in Mina. So therefore, collect all of them in Muzdalifah. The government, what they do these days, they put a lot of the throw trucks of those pebbles over there. So you don't have to go in the mountains and keep on breaking them as they used to do before. Once, now on the 10th of Zulhijjah, we are in Mina. The first thing is, you want to stone the shaitan. The time of stoning the shaitan on this day, it starts after sunrise, goes all the way till Ghurub, remember, or even the next day. So, between sunrise and Zuhr, Zawal is Sunnah. After Zawal till sunset is not good. But if you delay because of the crowd, because of some health situation, for whatever reason, it still is okay. Generally, people used to do it at the very early time. That may not be the best time, but nowadays, for the last 2-3 years, my experience is that because of the new bridge that they built and that divide all the traffic, even the early morning time is not bad time. You stone the shaitan. That's the first thing you want to do on that day. Number 2, offering the sacrifice. This is the second thing of that day that we want to offer the sacrifice. Once that thing is being offered, generally you arrange it through your group leader. That will be the best way. Arrange it through your group leader. Number 3, the third thing, after you get the news that your offering has been done, then you cut your hair, you shave your head. And the 4th thing we want to do, not necessarily in sequence, these 3 things in sequence. The 4th thing is Tawaf al-Ziyarah, which is one of the most important fara'id of Hajj. 2 things are very important. Arafat and Tawaf al-Ziyarah. So this is you're performing the second one. That is very important. Tawaf al-Ziyarah. So, 10th of Zulhijjah, we came to Mina, Rami, stoning the shaitan, 7 pebbles, only to the big one. Not all 3. Number 2, we offer the sacrifice. Number 3, shaving the head. Number 4, Tawaf al-Ziyarah. The time of Tawaf al-Ziyarah goes all the way till the 13th. So still you have some time. It's best to do it on the first day, you can do it the second day, the third day. If you delay from that, then there will be a dam except for ladies who would delay for a valid reason. Because they cannot enter the haram. After Tawaf al-Ziyarah, you perform the sa'i. After Tawaf al-Ziyarah, you perform the sa'i, but I will come back to the sa'i. I will tell you something more about the sa'i. After Tawaf al-Ziyarah, once we have performed Tawaf al-Ziyarah, all the restrictions of the Ihram are gone. Before Tawaf al-Ziyarah, partial restrictions are gone. Before Tawaf al-Ziyarah, as I said, once we offered the sacrifice and we shaved our head, your ihram is off. That ihram is off now. Now you can use perfume, anything. Women are not allowed. After tawaf al-ziyarah, even that restriction is gone. Now, after that, we come back to Mina, and this was the 10th, remember? 11th and 12th. 2 days at least we need to stay in Mina to stone the shaitan. Now we stone all three of them. All three of them each day. The time starts after Zawal now, not like the first day that started from morning. Now the time starts after Zawal. Goes all the way till next Fajr. You have a long time. It's best to do it between Zawal and Ghurub. But don't try to do it right after Zawal. That's the most crowded time. Especially on the 12th, don't even get close to Jamarat at the time of Zawal, regardless of which one's Zawal. That is the time when generally people die. Every year, same time, same place, same day, this is when people die, and yet people go there at the same time. 12th, why? On 12 groups, leaders, they want to take the groups out quickly. So they want to leave Mina quickly. Some of them to Makkah, some of them to Jeddah, some of them to Medina. So therefore they say, quickly, go do the Jamarat and come back. And if you don't come back, we will leave. That simply means you're never coming back. So that is not the right time, especially in 12. So try to delay it a little bit. Around Asr time, before Maghrib, is the best time. We tried it every year. You take even the women with you, they can go right in front of the Jamarat without being pushed at all, and they can do the Jamarat right at that time. And it still is the mustahab time. You are not out of the mustahab time either. And in case if a person delays it after Ghurub, also it still is valid. 11th and 12th, we stone all the shaitans. 13th is optional. If you stay in Mina, you do the stoning on the 13th also. You don't stay in Mina, you want to leave, you can leave. Now, your Hajj is over. Once you finish this, your Hajj is over. You go back to Makkah, do Tawaf al-Wida'. The Tawaf, the farewell Tawaf, to saying goodbye. One Tawaf is wajib, after that as many Tawaf as you do. The last Tawaf you will perform will be considered without anyway. Coming back to the Sa'i thing that I mentioned earlier. Sa'i. After Tawaf al-Ziyarah. Generally that time is very crowded. The rule of Sa'i is you have to have Tawaf before it. So it's not that you will delay it now and do it later on without Tawaf. But the rule about this Sa'i is you can perform it anytime. So say if you're staying in Makkah, after Hajj, you're staying for a week or two, or you will go to Medina and come back, and then you will have some time, don't do the Tawaf Sa'i at this time. Do it later on, when it's not that crowded. This will be the most crowded time for Sa'i. Do it later on, when it's less crowded. Another option, which we found it very, very helpful, and it is allowed from the Sharia point of view. When you put your ihram on for Hajj, put it on a little earlier, on the 7th, rather than putting it in the evening, maybe around Zuhr Asr time. And then perform a tawaf, nafil tawaf, just extra tawaf. After that, do the sa'i with the intention of the sa'i of the Hajj. Your sa'i is done now, so you don't have to worry about it later. That will be the easiest. As I said, the sa'i has no time limit, no time frame, therefore you can do it anytime. So even if you do it after 6 months, you came back, you went back and did it after 6 months, you were out of all the restrictions of ihram, and you could still do the tawaf, the sa'i later on without having any sin or any problem from the Sharia point of view. So now the whole Hajj is over very quickly. On the 8th of the Hajj, we are in Mina. We perform 5 prayers, Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and the Fajr of the next day, which is the 9th of the Hajj. On the 9th, we left Mina towards Arafat after sunrise. We arrived Arafat before the time of Zuhr. If there is still time, have some rest over there, and then get yourself ready before the time of Zuhr. So as soon as the time comes in, our ibadah will start. That is the time of wuquf of Arafat. That wuquf is really to make dua. Make a lot of dua now during this time, as much as possible standing up. When you get tired, you can sit down. When you are fresh again, get up and do the dua standing up. After ghurub, without performing Salatul Maghrib, we did Zuhr and Asr here, without performing Salatul Maghrib, we will leave towards Muzdalifah. In Muzdalifah, we will combine Salatul Maghrib and Salatul Isha together. And we will spend the night over there. Some rest, collect the pebbles, and now after Fajr is the time of wuquf in Muzdalifah. So now this is the time of dua. Make dua over there. Just before the sunrise, leave Muzdalifah towards Mina. This is the morning of the 10th. In Mina, today you will be doing 4 things. Number 1, stoning the shaitan. Only first one. Number 2, offering the sacrifice. Number 3, shaving the head. Your haram is off now. Number 4, tawaf al-ziyarah, for which we'll go Makkah and then we'll have to come back to Mina. After this, all the restrictions of tawaf and ihram are done. Of ihram are over. All the restrictions of Hajj are finished. Now you are in your normal dress. Now we come back and stay in Mina for the 11th and 12th. And 13th is optional, based on how your group leader will arrange it for you. After this, after the 12th, or if you chose to stay for the 13th, which Prophet ﷺ did, then you go to Mecca, perform Tawaf al-Wada', and if you haven't performed the sa'i yet, you perform the sa'i. Everything is done now. Your whole Hajj is done, which is very simple and easy, inshallah. It will be very simple and easy, really, if we remember a few rules, and I'll mention those rules now. Number 1, control yourself. It's not about controlling anyone else. If we control ourselves, we control our anger, our emotions, everything will be within control. If we don't control ourselves, then we will have problems. Number 2, if you are with the group and you trust, this is how you chose a group. If a person chose a group because of the hotels and because of all the luxuries, doesn't care about the group leader, you have a problem there. If you chose the group because you know the scholars or the group leader and you trust that person, then all I would say is just follow the group leader. Don't haste, don't hurry, don't run here and there. Oh, those people are leaving. How come about us? And let me go and see why they are leaving. I'm going to go and ask them. By the time you come back, your bus is gone. Stay with your group. Don't run here and there. Listen to your group leader. We are not used to listening to anyone. But listen to the group leader. And stay around with the rest of the group. That will, inshallah, keep everything in place. Number 3, instead of trying to look for our comfort, try to provide comfort to others as much as possible. Help those who need any help. People don't have a seat. They're rushing to their seat. You give them your seat. Rather than trying to take people's seat. Oh, this was my place. Oh, I had put my napkin over there. This is why this was my place. No. Give it to people. Let them sit. You stand. You're getting your reward, inshallah. And that's the time. Really, that is the time when we ourselves may be able to recognize our own akhlaq. Sometimes we are too impressed with ourselves. Over there we know who we are. So we need to control ourselves, try to be as helpful to others as possible, and at the same time obey your group leader, your scholar that is with you. That will make everything very simple and easy, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide all of us to Salat al-Mustaqim, and may Allah accept our Hajj and our Umrah. May Allah give us tawfiq to go again and again. For those who are not able to go this year, may Allah give them tawfiq to go in the future. For those who have never been there, may Allah open the doors for them, and for us, may Allah open the doors every time and every year. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.
I have one more question.
Just a second. Are we opening the questions now or later? I have to obey my leader here. Okay. In Mina and Arafat, sometimes you won't get warm food. So we would like to get you used to that also. So okay, let's take questions for half an hour. If we see it going beyond that, we'll stop and go for the whatever food is there, and then we can come back, inshallah.
I forget my say. after Tawaf Ziyara, about 10 years back.
Okay.
But next time when I went for Hajj, I give dam. Dam is acceptable, or I have to do again sa'i?
That dam was some extra food for people, but you have to do your sa'i whenever you go there.
Whenever I go.
Whenever you go there.
Okay, second thing, you said during Ihram, while Ihram you cannot cover the
You
face.
shouldn't, right?
But while doing the wuzu, what I'll do?
No, your hand can be used, but don't use a towel.
Thank you. Jazakallah khair.
You are doing the Zohar and Asr together, then you are not going to in Masjid, you are doing it separately.
Right, then you do it on your own. You do Zohar on the time of Zohar and do each of them on their own time. Yes, of course, it will be Jamaat, but Zohar you will do the Jamaat at the time of Zohar, and then you will have another Jamaat at the time of Asr. Right, in the Masjid they will combine it and you combine it with them. For sisters, if they have any questions, you can write the questions and send them here.
So we put the ihram on our transit, and then we make the intention 2 hours before, for example. What's the condition of our foot at that time? Do we have shoes on? Do we have slippers on the plane?
Okay, when we put the ihram on when you were in transit, still you didn't make the intention, so no restriction on your shoes, but maybe you want to put your slippers on because you don't really need your shoes, there is not too much walking right now. So you can put your slippers so you're ready with full ihram things. Then, before you make the intention, you make sure that you have the right slippers. If before that you had your shoes, that's still fine. But after that now, once you're ready to make the intention, now you should have the right slippers on. For young children, do you have to do qurbani? No, you don't have to do qurbani on behalf of the young ones. Yes, you just put the haram on for them. And it's good, if it is possible, take them with you, carry them in your tawaf and sa'i. A woman came and asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she was carrying a small child. She said, Ya Rasulullah, Ali hada hajjun? Is there hajj for him too? Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, yes, there is hajj for him and the reward is for you.
Some groups, they don't stay for the Muzdalifah for the whole night. So what is the verdict on that?
Some groups don't stay in Muzdalifah for the whole night. What is the rules of rolling of Sharia on that? Let me tell you this. Not only this, I'll tell you something that I have seen over there with what some groups, when we say, do. Some people came back and they were very, very happy that, we did Hajj, it wasn't crowded at all. It was so nice. They did Hajj, and that group paid, each person paid between $12,000 to $18,000 for the Hajj. Okay? And the reason for that was because it was 5-star Hajj. What does that mean? All the hotels were 5-star like everyone else. But they went to Mina, from Mina they went to Arafah before Zawal in the morning, and then they left Arafat before Zawal. The time starts after Zawal. They left Arafat before Zawal and they went to Muzdalifah. And they went to Muzdalifah during the daytime when still people are in Mina. So they said, look, we brought you a very special location, 5-star. No one is here. All the bathrooms are yours. All the wudu places are for you. So, before Maghrib, they took them out of Muzdalifah, took them to Mina, and made them do the Jamarat. No one is there. Really, this is something that I have seen group next to us. They did it. Anyway, now there are some groups that go to Muzdalifah. They go to Mina and Arafah on time. They go to Muzdalifah, but they don't spend the whole night in Muzdalifah. If a person would not spend the night without a valid reason, of course for women is exception. For sick people is an exception. But if a person would not spend the night in Muzdalifah without that valid reason, then will have to pay it on. Because it's wajib. See now, if there's a difference between the imams, there are so many differences of opinion in every aspect really, not just on this. On way of putting the haram, then on tawaf and ruling the tawaf. For example, according to Shafi'i, if you touch a woman, your wudu will break. Now in tawaf, you won't be able to do that. So there are a lot of differences of opinion. But it's always best you just follow one method and don't look for the easy one, because what will happen is, here you will follow Shafi, here you follow Hanafi, here there you follow Maliki. When you come back and you ask someone that this is what I did, at the end he will tell you your Hajj was not valid according to either of them.
If my group does that, what would I do?
You pay them.
And dam is not in it.
Over there, it has to be within the limits of Haram.
No, what is dam?
What is the dam? Is offering a sacrifice.
Can you do that over there?
It has to be done over there. Even if you don't do it there, you send the money for someone that you know who would do it on your behalf over there. But it has to be done over there.
Do they have any arrangement over there?
Generally, group leaders do.
So wearing the ihram first time, you said the two pieces of cloth, the one that's on the top of your body, you said that later on when you are in front of the black stone, that's when you put it under your arm, right? Does that mean that throughout that time before that it was just on your shoulder?
Okay, good question here. For ihram for men, we said when you're about to start the tawaf, you put the ihram under your right arm onto your left shoulder. Let me tell you a few quick rules about this. This will be in ihram, in a tawaf, where there is sa'i after it, and you are wearing the ihram. So therefore, because there is sa'i after it, they will be able to do this. Number two, you would put it on that way under your arm at the beginning of the tawaf and keep it like that just till the end of the tawaf. As soon as you finish the tawaf, this rule is over now. So just for these 7 rounds, as soon as it's done, then that rule is over. Before and after this, you will be covering the whole body with it. It's on your shoulders, your arms, everything covering it except your face and your neck.
Is when the person is doing sa'i, is sometimes hard on the stone to be bare feet. You can use the sole or something like that.
Sometimes a person is not able to walk bare feet in the sa'i. Tawaf and sa'i both, of course, they have marble right now, so it's not a stones or anything that will hurt us, but yet the question is well is there that sometimes people, they may have some problem with their skin or with their foot that they cannot walk. In case if a person is not able to walk, then you can tie something on your foot under on the bottom part. Still try to have, they sell over there a type of sole that will just go in the back of it. If that is only required for you, then you just cover this much. If there are different types that will cover only the bottom part with a little bit on the finger and the back part here, they sell those also. I see them over there. So use that, use as minimum as possible for your needs.
What if you lose your wudu during sa'i or during...
What is if you lose your wudu during sa'i or during tawaf? During tawaf, doing tawaf with tahara is wajib. Therefore, if you lose your wudu, you should go make the wudu and come back and continue with your tawaf. If it is during sa'i, so during sa'i that is not wajib. So therefore you can continue the sa'i without it.
And you continue from where you stopped, right?
Okay. Do you continue where you stopped? Generally the rule is, if you have done less than 4 rounds, then you start all over. If you have done more than 4 rounds, then you continue where you left. Because of the crowd that is there, because of the number of people and the time it takes you to do the tawaf, and even 1 round may be difficult to start all over in some situations. So if you think no, it's too difficult to start all over, you can continue from where you stop. But if you are in the middle of the round, don't count that one. Go to the black stone and start from there, continue starting that round again. Right, this is a very important question here for those sisters who cover their face. For those sisters who cover their face, how should they manage the ihram? Because the rule is no clothing should be touching the face. The best way that we find for that is you put something like a hat, and on top of that you put your niqab. So now your niqab is hanging on top of that, so it's not touching your face. So it has some distance between your face and the niqab. So if it will just take a little distance. It will keep on pushing and touching. Nothing wrong with that, as long as it's not just holding the face.
It's only during
Ihram, that's during the Ihram time. Outside of Ihram, then that restriction is not there.
My group is leaving Mina before Fajr prayer, praying Fajr at Arafat. Is there dam?
No, there is no dam, it's against the Sunnah. If the group is leaving Mina before Fajr, so there is no dam on it, but it's against the Sunnah.
My group is departing from Muzdalifah before Fajr, praying Fajr at Mina, and then proceeding to stoning and Wukuf of Muzdalifah is not complete. So is there dam?
If they would leave before the time of Fajr will get in, sometimes it takes some time before you would leave the boundary of Muzdalifah. So maybe you are still, just make sure you would see the signs about the boundaries. There will be big signs over there. If you left the boundaries of Muzdalifah before the time of Fajr came in, yes, there is dam. But since the question is from the sisters, they are excused anyway, so there is no dam on them. But if it is from the brothers, yes, there is dam.
Why do we do 7 rounds around the Kaaba?
Okay, here there is a big question. Why do we do 7 rounds around the Kaaba? This is really a whole topic by itself for each and every part of the ibadah of this Hajj. Why do we perform it in this way? And every part of Hajj has some hikmah behind it. There are certain things that we know, certain things we don't know. Certain things that are known from the hadith, certain things that we know them by scholars getting into the depth of it and trying to understand it. But this topic here by itself is a couple of hours topic. So therefore, I will not go into the hikmah and the wisdom. All I will say is the reason for us to do things the way we just talked about or the way we are supposed to do is because this is how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did these things, and this is what ibadah is. 2 rak'ah for Fajr, why 2, why not 3? Why 3 for Maghrib, not 2? Why wash my hands in wudu up to my elbow, not the shoulder? We'll keep those out. Same ihram? Okay. The question is, how about using the same ihram for Umrah and Hajj? Now, this is a little tricky then. As I said, sometimes when we say ihram, we refer to the 2 sheets, and I'm sure this is what you're referring to, is it? Right. You can use those sheets as many times as you want. You don't even take it off, and after one intention, then you make the second intention, there is nothing wrong with it. So, if as far as using these sheets, there is no restriction on how many times we use it. As far as an intention, which I said the real ihram from the Sharia point of view is your intention. So be careful when we say, if you read in a book, for example, that don't make the intention, don't use the same ihram. The book will be referring to, don't make the same intention.
If a lady has her menses at the time of Tawaf al-Wada and she must leave Makkah, what should she do? Will her Hajj be fulfilled?
If a woman is during her period at the time of leaving Makkah, she did not perform Tawaf al-Wada, the rule of the Sharia is she's excused. She doesn't have to perform it. But Tawaf al-Ziyarah is must, because that was Rukn of Hajj. Tawaf al-Ziyarah is must. If she didn't perform Tawaf al-Ziyarah, she cannot leave Makkah until she would perform Tawaf al-Ziyarah. So she would perform Tawaf al-Ziyarah, delay her stay for longer, whatever, but Tawaf al-Wada is not. So, in that situation. So Tawaf al-Wada, she would be excused, but Tawaf al-Ziyarah, if she didn't do it, she has to do it.
Please explain the fard or sunnah about cutting or shaving of hair in Hajj and Umrah.
Is the question from the lady's side? Cutting and shaving the head?
Yes, from the lady. I think from the lady's side.
Or shaving of hair, yes.
Right. No shaving is haram.
Okay, so Umrah and the Hajj, both times you have to shave your head or once?
For Umrah and Hajj, do you have to shave your head both times or once? Of course, the same rule applies each time you are taking the ihram off, whether it's from Umrah or it's from Hajj. So now, every time you would perform Umrah, not just Tawaf. Tawaf you can do as many Tawaf as you want without ihram. But each time you perform Umrah, to take the ihram off, you will have to shave your head. Now say for example, if a person had long hair, maybe first time he cut it short, second time he cut it short, third time he cut it short, now finally he's at a limit where he will have to shave it, so then he will have to shave it. After you shave it once, then the only choice is just to shave it. You say that there will not be any hair after that. All you do is just let someone go with a razor over it and shave the head as much as possible.
Two questions basically. One is that first time when you see the Kaaba, you said to make dua. Is there any duration for that?
No, there is no duration as long as you want.
The second question is, when you are starting your sa'i, when you're in your Umrah, then you said that you're on the Safa side, then you look in the same way that you did, and then you go to the Marwa side in the same way you did, and you make dua. And you do it 7 times, and each time you...
Right. Between Safa and Marwa, of course, the end of each round, or you can say the beginning of each round, you will make dua. That dua will be while you're facing towards Kaaba. Although you may not be able to see it, but you're facing towards the Kaaba. From Safa you still can see it, from Marwa you cannot see it at all. So anyway, you will be facing the direction of the Kaaba, and you will make dua, and even this dua is mustahab to make it long.
Can you do more than one Umrah?
You can do more than one Umrah, although it's recommended to do more tawaf than to do more Umrah. So it's recommended to do a lot more tawafs, but not to do too many Umrahs during those days.
I want to do Umrah for my father.
As I said, it is allowed. It is allowed, except for those 5 days of Hajj, no one can do Umrah. But outside of that, you can do as many Umrahs as you want. But as I said, Sharia recommends, instead of doing Umrah, we do more tawafs.
For my father?
Even for your father, you can do more tawaf. You can do tawaf for your father, another tawaf for your mother. See, in this case, because especially in those days being so crowded, the time that would take you to perform one Umrah, maybe you can perform 5, 6 tawaf during that period. When shaving or cutting your hair, can you do it yourself? Someone else has to do it. You can do it on your own. Someone else can do it. Even if that person has ihram on, he can do it on you too. Sa'i is for both. Sa'i is part of Umrah and part of Hajj. It's not part of Tawaf. It's part of Umrah and part of Hajj. With Tawaf, there is no Sa'i. If a person is not an ihram and just decides to do Tawaf, he can do as many Tawaf as he wants. No Sa'i. But for Umrah, is Tawaf and Sa'i. In Hajj, we have to do Sa'i, as I said, that is after Tawaf al-Ziyarah, or you can do it after Tawaf al-Wada', or you can do it before at the beginning, before you study everything. But ihram has to be there before, if you do it before.
Two things. You said that we can't wash our head because hair might fall out. So, first of all, what happens if hair falls out anyway?
Right. This would happen. Very good question. That this would happen. That generally, the hair keeps on falling. So sometimes you touch your head and you see some hair coming out. At the end is always good. At the end, just pay some sadaqah. For minor mistakes that we have done, just give some sadaqah at the end. That will pay off all the minor things that we have done.
So, they also say, I think, something about insects, like the reason you don't wash your head is because of insects.
No, it's not only because of that, it's for falling the hair, but of course, if someone has, the lices in his head, you're not allowed to kill them. You're not allowed to kill lices, you're not allowed to kill any animal. So therefore, they say that don't cut your hair or don't do anything to your hair, because if they are there, you are killing them.
If you kill a mosquito or something, then
you shouldn't. He's going to take something from you.
One question. I paid money to one man to do Hajj Badal for my mother. Again he forget, to do the Sa'i in Tawaf Ziyarah. So can I die or it is gone?
No, is that man still around?
I don't know where he is.
Oh, okay, you don't know where that person is. So he didn't do the Sa'i?
Because he was with me in that trip.
Okay, so both of you didn't do the Sa'i?
Yeah.
So then for that one you will let him pay the dam for you?
I can. Okay.
Right.
I did that.
If somebody cannot do it Qurbani himself, he can for somebody else to do Qurbani.
If someone cannot do the Qurbani himself, as I said, most of the cases we won't be doing Qurbani ourselves. People don't do it on their own. It's too difficult. The place where you do it is too far. And number 2, it's not possible for everyone to just go there and do it. It will be a lot of blood and things. It's difficult. So the best thing is have your group leader arrange for everyone's Qurbani. Right, they do it through that. I always recommend that you have your group leader do it. Because sometimes you don't know when it was done. And they have a fatwa that they can do it till the end of the month. So,
So under your ihram, do you have any undergarments on?
no, under the ihram, man is not allowed to wear any undergarment, just the two sheets. Belt is allowed, just to hold the ihram and have a pouch. Belt is allowed, but no clothing. Any other question? No? Inshallah? Very good. So let's make dua, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك اللهم ونتوب اليك اللهم لك الحمد كله ولك الشكر كله لا نحصي ثناء عليك انت كما اثنيت على نفسك اللهم لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى ال سيدنا ونبينا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الابرار ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا واسرافنا في امرنا وثبت اقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين اللهم ربنا اغفر لنا وللمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الاحياء منهم والاموات انك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات اللهم ات نفوسنا تقواها وزكها انت خير من زكاها انت وليها ومولاها اللهم انا نسالك رضاك والجنه ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار اللهم انا نسالك من خير ما سالك منه نبيك سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ منه نبيك سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وانت المستعان وعليك البلاغ ولا حول ولا قوه الا بالله العلي العظيم اله العالمين हम सबके जमाम ने कबूल फरमा दे इलाह العالمين सब के लिए हज के और ज़ियारत हरमैन के दरवाजे खोल दे इलाह العالمين हज्जाज के हज को कबूल फरमा दे जो जाने वाले हैं उनके लिए आसानियां कर दे रब्बुल आलमीन जिनके लिए जाना मुयस्सर नहीं है उनके लिए जाना मुयस्सर फरमा दे रब्बुल आलमीन सब के हज को आसान फरमा दे और रब्बुल आलमीन को कबूलियत से नवाज दे इलाह العالमीन हर एक मुश्किलात को ख़त्म फरमा दे रब्बुल आलमीन हर एक परेशानी को ख़त्म फरमा दे और रब्बुल आलमीन इबादत को हमेशा सारी जारी फरमा और रब्बुल आलमीन हरमैन शरीफैन की बरक़ात को हमेशा रब्बुल आलमीन हम पे कायम दायम फरमा और हम सब को रब्बुल आलमीन वहाँ से पूरा फ़ायदा उठाने की तौफ़ीक़ अता फरमा اللهم ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين. Just a quick reminder, as I said earlier, we didn't go into the hikmahs of any of the ibadahs. So maybe if you want to learn that, it will be totally separate than what we talked about. We didn't go into the du'as. Each time what du'a to recite, I didn't mention du'a because I know people won't memorize it right away. So for du'as, the best thing is you get one of the books that talk about Hajj or the book of du'a, and then you follow the du'as from there. There isn't any du'a that I would say that you have to make it, otherwise your Hajj will not be valid. But the main thing is memorize labbaik Allahumma labbaik, memorize the talbiyah, and at the same time, as I said, try to memorize the small du'as of leaving home and then arriving there, and the du'a of seeing the Kaaba. Very, very important, very beautiful du'a. Try to look in the books and memorize that du'a also. The du'a at the time of seeing the Kaaba, what du'a she should recite at that time. Du'a at the time of entering Makkah and Medina. So the point is, I just wanted to remind, don't think that we got everything, but we try to get the practical part of how to perform Hajj.
Jazakumullah khair on behalf of our